Hello students, in today's video I'm going to take up a very famous poem by the great romantic poet P.B. Shelley entitled as To a Skylark. Before I take up the text of this poem, let me tell you something about the poet and the poem. See students, Shelley is one of the greatest romantic poets. He is known specially for the revolutionary fervor in his poetry. As far as this poem is concerned, it was written by him in 1820, and he was inspired to write this poem when he happened to listen to the song of the Skylark as he was spending his days in Livorno, Italy. The whole poem is replete with beautiful imagery. So let's have the poem. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird, thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. In the very beginning, because it's an ode, so naturally it is addressed, and here the address is to the bird Skylark. The poet says, Hail to thee, blithe spirit, O happy spirit, I welcome you. Now here the poet has called the bird as blithe spirit. Poet ने उसे एक हैप्पी स्पिरिट कहा है, एक ऐसी आत्मा, एक ऐसी सोल कहा है जो खुशियों से भरी हुई है. बिकॉज यहीं से हम गेस कर सकते हैं, परहैप्स the voice of the bird is so heavenly that the poet is confused whether it actually is the sound of a bird or it's a spirit that is singing. So he's saying, Hail to thee, blithe spirit, I welcome you, O happy spirit. Bird, thou never wert. He claims that you were never a bird. As I told you, the voice of that bird is appearing so heavenly to the poet that he says you were never a bird. तुम पक्षी तो कभी थे ही नहीं. मैं तुम्हारा स्वागत करता हूँ ओ खुशियों से भरी हुई आत्मा, क्योंकि पक्षी तो तुम कभी थे ही नहीं. इतनी अच्छी आवाज उस बर्ड की पोएट को लग रही है, इतनी हेवनली वो आवाज लग रही, इतनी डिवाइन वो आवाज लग रही है कि पोएट को लगता है कि वो बर्ड तो है ही नहीं, इट्स सम काइंड ऑफ स्पिरिट, कोई आत्मा है. That's why he says, bird thou never wert. पक्षी तो तुम कभी थे ही नहीं. Now these are all archaic words. Old English के words हैं, जैसे दी हुआ, wert हुआ, thou हुआ. अभी हम इनकी जगह पे दी, दाउ, इनकी जगह यू, योर और वर्ट, वर, वॉज, वर अब हम यूज करते हैं. तो दिस पोएम हैज बीन रिटन इन आर्काइक इंग्लिश. सो इन द वेरी बिगिनिंग ही इज जस्ट मेकिंग अ गेस whether it is actually a bird or a spirit. It appears to us as if he is making a guess. Kere bird thou never wert, pakshi to tum kabhi the hi nahi, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart. So he is not able to see the bird actually, but he can listen to its voice very well. So he says, perhaps you are singing from heaven or very near to it, and you are pouring your full heart in your song. तुम दिख नहीं, the bird is not visible to him, पक्षी उसे दिख नहीं रहा, तो वो गेस करता है कि तुम जो गा रहे हो शायद तुम स्वर्ग के अंदर से गा रहे हो या स्वर्ग के पास से कहीं से गा रहे हो, और अपने गाने में तुमने अपना पूरा हार्ट पोर कर दिया है, उड़ेल दिया है. In profuse strains of unpremeditated art, and your song which is profuse, which is abundant in nature, जो तुम्हारा गीत non-stop इतना ज़्यादा जो song तुम गा रहे हो, it is the example of an unpremeditated art. Now there are three words in the single word, unpremeditated. Meditate, about which you have thought earlier. Premeditate, that means about which you have, meditate means think seriously about something. Premeditate, about, that means earlier you have thought about something very seriously. And unpremeditate, that means something about which you haven't thought earlier. So the song of the Skylark appears to be a beautiful piece of art to the poet, and this art is unpremeditated. कुछ ऐसा जिसके बारे में बर्ड ने भी पहले से कुछ नहीं सोचा था, यानी जिसको हम कहते हैं स्पॉन्टेनियस। वो जो बर्ड है वो उसका कोई रिटन स्क्रिप्ट थोड़ी है गीत का। तो पोइट कह रहा है ये जो तुम लगातार गीत गाए जा रहे हो ये एग्जाम्पल है अनप्रीमेडिटेटेड आर्ट का, एक ऐसी कला का नमूना है जिसके बारे में पहले से तुमने नहीं सोचा था। सो ही इज जस्ट वेलकमिंग द बर्ड एंड ही इज सो मच you can say overwhelmed by the voice of this bird that he is wondering whether it is actually a bird or a spirit. And he says, you are never a bird because your voice is so divine, it is so heavenly, and perhaps you yourself are singing from heaven or very near to it. And in your song you are pouring full your heart, and your song is continuously coming out of your mouth, and it appears to me as if you are singing it without thinking about it. That means you haven't thought about it earlier. So this is something which you haven't given a thought about earlier, and continuously you are singing such a song. तुम्हारा जो गीत है लगातार तुम गा रहे हो, ये तुमने पहले नहीं सोचा था इसके बारे में, ये स्पॉन्टेनियस है, अचानक से अपने आप पैदा हुआ ये गीत है जो तुम गा रहे हो। I think the thing is okay with you. Let's proceed further. Higher still and higher from the earth thou springest. Now, as I told you that he is not able to see the bird, but the sound which is coming from it tells him that it is, whether it is moving away or coming to him. So at present the voice, perhaps it is fading, so he's saying higher still and higher from the earth thou springest. Ki, oh bird, you are moving higher and higher, and you have jumped above the earth, you have jumped from the earth itself, कि तुम धरती से ही spring उछले हो ऊपर, और higher still and higher, ऊपर और ऊपर जाते चले जा रहे हो। Like a cloud of fire, जैसे आग का कोई बादल। Now there is very beautiful simile which has been used here. Simile यानी उपमा अलंकार का बहुत बेहतरीन इस्तेमाल यहाँ हमें देखने को मिल रहा है। एंड आपको मैं बता दूं कि की पूरी पोएम में जो सबसे डोमिनेंट फिगर ऑफ स्पीच आपको देखने को मिलेगा वो है सिमिली। ऐसे ही बहुत ब्यूटीफुल से हमें सिमिली के एग्जाम्पल्स मिलेंगे पूरी पोएम में। So the poet says, higher still and higher from the earth thou springest. O bird, you have jumped from the earth itself and you are moving higher and higher. Like a cloud of fire, the blue deep thou wingest. You are appearing like a cloud of fire, and as you are moving in the sky, the blue deep sky, the deep blue sky is posing as a striking contrast to your color. The bird is appearing like a cloud of fire because जो background है वो गहरा नीला है। Thou wingest, you are flying in the background of blue deep sky, so your appearance is like that of a cloud of fire. And singing still dost soar, and soaring ever singest. And as you are moving upwards, you are singing. As you are soaring, as you are moving upwards, you are singing. And as you are singing, you are moving upwards. That means, simply wants to say, the bird is singing continuously as well as it is flying upwards. So there is a very beautiful simile in these lines. Let's have the whole thing again. कि higher still and higher from the earth thou springest. कि तुम ऊंचे और ऊंचे उड़ते चले जा रहे हो और तुम धरती से ऊपर उछले हो। Like a cloud of fire, जैसे आग का कोई बादल। The blue deep thou wingest, गहरे नीले आसमान के बैकग्राउंड में तुम उड़ रहे हो। And singing still dost soar, and soaring ever singest, और गाते गाते तुम ऊपर जा रहे हो और ऊपर जाते जाते तुम गा रहे हो। Now again we can say that he is overwhelmed by the voice of that bird, and he is just guessing that perhaps the bird which is moving upwards, because the sound you can say change in the pitch of the sound is telling the poet that the bird is moving upwards. So he says from earth itself it has risen upwards, and it is appearing perhaps like a cloud of fire because its color is in striking contrast to the color of the sky. The deep blue sky is appearing to be in sharp contrast to the reddishness of the bird. The bird is appearing like a cloud of fire. It is appearing like a cloud which is made up of fire, and it is flying against a background of blue deep sky. And as it is moving upwards, it is singing, and while singing, it is moving upwards. So that's all for today, and I'm going to just have many more videos based on this poem. So just stay tuned to this channel, and that's all for today.